one of the things that Jack and I have long enjoyed celebrating together is looking ahead to college football weekends. Jack and I fantasize about sitting on the couch and which games we'll be watching, just watching football. That's what we fantasize about.
You make it sound like we're sexting about this. Yeah, I mean,
when you start thinking about some of the language we used and how hot and heavy it all feels, maybe this is our version. Is this the dude's version of sexting? Is this the platonic version of sexting?
Me and you just rattling off games in week 11 back and forth, and like each one takes it up another notch. And you're like, oh man.
Tell me more, Jack. Tell me more.
How far do you want to go with this?
Yeah, but some account named CF Budge, who is followed by two people that I follow, Kelly Ford and Jack Mitchell.
I followed him 30 seconds ago. So
Oh, nice. All right. So it would have just been our good buddy K Ford, who joined the Grum recently.
He earned it with this content, though.
This is some good stuff. He put together every week of the 2024 college football season ranked a thread. And then he says, week 0 can't compete. Only 4 games. So the worst weekend of the entire season, Jack, he says, is week 0. And it is a tough week 0 this year. Like, remember 5 years ago, the 150th anniversary season when Florida played Miami and it was like, whoa, our week 0 is about to be awesome moving forward.
Yeah.
And Nebraska was involved a couple of times and those years sucked. But otherwise, week 0s have been just a little too meh for my taste.
There's only 2, I believe, FBS on FBS games. I believe there's only 2 of those that are listed are FBS versus FBS.
The Florida State Georgia Tech game, and what's the other game?
Nevada and Troy.
Nevada SMU, you mean?
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm just looking at the logo here. He put the wrong logo.
Wow.
He has the Troy logo. You're right. It is SMU. I don't know. Troy didn't sound right to me.
Unfollow coming from Mr. Bud.
There we go. That was a fun 30 seconds. But like New Mexico plays, but it's Montana State, which I guess I'm sure I'll watch that if that's on. And
of course, it's football. It's going to be great.
Hawaii plays Delaware State kicking off at 11. What a weird game. Delaware State setting a travel record in that one. But usually wasn't week 0 part of what week 0 was so they could have an extra bye week for Hawaii's opponents during the years.
Yes,
and
that's what it originally used to be.
So you would have a lot of Hawaii's opponents that were playing in those games. Like Cal played a random game, I remember.
Yep.
There's been a few of those. So
I think UCLA has played the week 0 time or two.
Yeah. So not much. It's fine. Whatever. It's fine. All I need is some games. Florida State, Georgia State. Hey, you can have a major random upset from Ireland in that first game.
That would
Don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on that.
How do you feel right about the fact that the season will begin at 11 a.m.? That's kind of nice, right? That we don't have to wait for like 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock, that we get a game. Like when Nebraska played over there, I think it was like a 1:30 or 2:30 game. So it was a later kickoff. So we got football right away at 11.
Right away. And there's not much of the rest of the day, but that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine.
The first Saturday I'll watch. I'll have games on. It's definitely more background noise than anything. But it'll be college football, and that's what we can.
I don't know how you wanted to go through this, but could we just then go to like week 1 then and where it is on the list?
Sure. All right.
Because I think that's what people will be interested in.
All right. Week 1 is
number 10.
Is his 10th best weekend. He writes the top tier games are absolutely money. Too many FCS matchups, however, and it weighs the whole week down. Which, yeah, that makes sense, right? Of course, the FCS games are going to weigh things down. He highlights 8 games here. The Jackrabbits of South Dakota State and Oklahoma State. That's interesting.
Ooh, that is interesting.
Notre Dame, Texas A&M, LSU, USC. I'd say that's the marquee game of the entire weekend.
Sunday night, unfortunately.
That's a Sunday game. Penn State, West Virginia. That's the big noon game.
That'll be all right.
Georgia, Clemson is also an 11 a.m. game on our end.
Sounds good.
The game that I think I am most excited for, Jack, is the Miami, Florida game. That one will be, I think, you want to talk about, I believe Stephen Godfrey always calls these the anxiety bowls, where, the loser of that game, their fan base is going to lose their mind. Obviously, the North Dakota State, Colorado game, we will all have our eyes on that opening Thursday. That one should be a whole lot of fun. And then North Carolina, Minnesota. So 2 Thursday games, Jack, and those will be on the same time.
That's the only bummer about week 1 of those 8 games you rolled off. 3 of them, at least 3 of them for sure are not on Saturday.
Yeah, the LSU USC game and then the 2 Thursday games. You're anti like spreading the wealth for week 1?
I would just like one of those games to be Thursday. I only need one of those 2 games to be Thursday. I don't want both of them at the same time.
What do you think about Notre Dame at Texas A&M being like the prime time? Night game. That's pretty interesting.
That is a sneaky, huge game. There's a lot of is that Notre Dame's toughest game of the year?
Yes. It's that or Florida State later in the season.
Right. And they got to go to Kyle Field on, holy cow, is this finally the slingshot Texas A&M needs to not be a complete? Mike Elko's first game is against Notre Dame and his former quarterback, right? Because didn't Riley Skinner, the Duke quarterback who Notre Dame injured, take over for Notre Dame this year? I believe that's the case. That'd be Elko's former quarterback.
Yeah, good call. Yeah, he did not play a whole lot last year, and he'll be their quarterback this year. So that is week 1 of the season. It's
better. There have been worse week 1s. I'll say that.
And it says, "Come on, Josh. Week 0 in Dublin was awesome. Needed more onside kicks." Jordan says, "Are you guys sitting in a beanbag chair, naked, eating Cheetos while watching football?" No, we have clothes on.
We've got underwear on.
All right. So that was week 1. Let's see. Week 2 is
number
the sixth best weekend of the season. He writes tons of exciting early non-conference games that we don't normally get to see. Obviously, the one that we care about most around here, Colorado at Nebraska. That'll be the night game. Other games of note, and this is a bummer since I'll be going to Lincoln, I will miss, I imagine, large chunks of Texas at Michigan on Big Noon, which stinks because I'm really looking forward to that game.
That's at Michigan. Okay. Oh, wow.
Yeah, that'll be
I love it. How
about this game, Jack? I just looked up the time and network. Boise State at Oregon is 9:00 on Peacock. So you'll either be like, hell yeah, I want to watch another game. Nebraska just rolled. Let's throw this game on. We're partying until Sunday morning. Or you'll say, I'm never watching football again, at least for 1 week.
There's a great chance. Yes, those are the two scenarios. I will not watch it, or I will jubilantly with a bottle of champagne, drinking straight from it, watching that game and not really caring what's happening. And then Boise State does something well, and I'll be like, oh, here we go. Upset alert. And I'll get really excited. And then I'll start doing calculations about how Nebraska could be in the playoffs. And those are the two scenarios.
Get to the beanbag chair, says Jack Mitchell. If that one goes his way. Sure. Other games. Let's see. Kansas State at Tulane. That's weird and random and fun. Texas Tech at Washington State. Tennessee at North Carolina State, the El Astico, Iowa State at Iowa, and Arkansas at Oklahoma State. That's a random non-conference match.
Arkansas at Oklahoma State. Ugh.
Yeah, that's weird. Let's see. Week 3. I think I already passed this one. Yep, there it is. Number 9. Basically a mini rivalry week, which is cool. A lot of teams getting fat on cupcakes, though. Yeah, it seems like the third week of the season, Jack. I always feel like this is kind of a lesser week. Because like the bigger non-conference games are always week 2 or week 1. A couple games of note. You get the return of the Civil War and the Apple Cup. It's going to be so weird that both of these games are in September, though.
Yeah. With good weather. Yeah.
Yeah. That'll be awesome.
Still, those will be good. I'm excited to see. And Oregon goes to Oregon State,
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool that those games are happening. Other games, West Virginia at Pitt, Memphis at Florida State, Bama at Wisconsin. How about that?
So weird.
So weird.
So weird.
Georgia at UK, Colorado at Colorado State, and Tulane at Oklahoma.
When is that? Is that Colorado State game on at like 10 at night again this year?
Let me look. Colorado at Colorado State.
And that'll be coming off of the Nebraska game.
It's 6:30 on CBS.
Oh, that's amazing.
It'll be the same time as the Nebraska
well, of course.
game. Yeah.
After last year, they got to move that thing to prime time and get it on network TV. That game will be. I don't know how I'll feel about that game after Nebraska plays them the week before.
Should we just go to the top 3 games?
Yeah, then let's do that.
All right, cool. So that's like basically the first few weeks of the season. The third best week of the whole year is week 5. CFB Budge writes, the biggest game in the SEC, the biggest game for the G5, the biggest game for Notre Dame, the 2 biggest games for the Big 12. Awesome stuff. The games in question, Georgia at Bama. Hell yeah. First regular season game since 2020. And I believe, Jack, this is the first game in the regular season with normal fans since 2015.
That's already in week 5? Okay.
Yeah, it's the last week of September. Some other ones. Wisconsin at USC. That's weird. That's a conference game now. Oklahoma at Auburn. Also a conference game now. Very strange. Louisville at Notre Dame. Arizona at Utah. Oklahoma State at Kansas State. Virginia Tech at Miami. The big G5 game you mentioned was Liberty at App State. That is week 5.
That'd be a big playoff implication game.
Nebraska, by the way, the week 5, that is who do they play that week, Jack?
That's the 28th.
Indy.
Right?
No, that's not Indiana. Is that Rutgers? They play that week. Yeah, Purdue. Play Purdue. I believe that's an 11 a.m. game for Nebraska.
Okay.
The second best week of the season is week 11. As he writes, some hugely consequential games for the late playoff race. Could be 7 to 8 real CFP elimination games, and that's dope. The game on this page, and Jack, if you can, try to find week 11. So
I'm trying to figure out what date this is. So
here, I can tell you real fast, unless you got it. It is 9th, November 9th.
All right, yep, I got it.
All right, Georgia at Ole Miss, Washington at Penn State, Clemson at Virginia Tech, Florida at Texas. Wow, that's fun. Bama at LSU, always good. Oklahoma at Missouri, BYU at Utah. Hell yeah, Holy War. And Florida State at Notre Dame. Who's Nebraska play that week?
Off week.
Off week.
That's the one in between UCLA and USC.
Put the feet on the couch and watch some damn football.
Stress-free.
Oh, Jack, that sounds amazing.
God, that is a good one, isn't it? Wow.
It is. And finally, the best week of the season, of course, is week 14, a.k.a. rivalry week. He writes, it still conquers all, the lifeblood of college football. The games. Mississippi State at Ole Miss, Washington at Oregon, Georgia Tech at Georgia. Okay, that game didn't need to be included.
No.
Michigan at Ohio State, the Iron Bowl, Texas at Texas A&M, Oklahoma at LSU, Florida at Florida State, and then honorable mention, Arkansas at Missouri, South Carolina at Clemson, Louisville at Kentucky, Arizona State at Arizona. Who is this?
Utah.
Thank you. Utah at UCF, Illinois at Northwestern. What? Purdue at Indiana. What? Notre Dame at USC. Okay. NC State at North Carolina and Nebraska at Iowa. Dude, one of my favorite parts, Jack, of this entire season is that Texas and Texas A&M are playing each other again. Let's freaking go. That would be awesome.
They used to do that game on like Thanksgiving night, didn't they?
It used to be on Thanksgiving night.
And it was on Black Friday for a while because it would either be before or after
it was both.
the Nebraska game.
They also, I think at the very end, they did it on actual Thanksgiving.
But I
think it is on.
This is on Saturday.
It's on Saturday now. Okay.
Yeah. My hope is that
at least we got it.
You'll start the day. Here's what I would do if I could put together the schedule. It's like you start the day with Michigan and Ohio State, and then you have like the Iron Bowl at 2:30, and then you have the Texas A&M game.
Beautiful.
Like
I agree.
Let's go.
It's got to be the nightcap.
Yeah. And by the way, the Black Friday backing up a little bit. This is the year that you have Minnesota and Wisconsin at 11 a.m. on Black Friday.
And obviously, Nebraska's at night on Black
CBS,
Friday.
and Nebraska is at night. You'll also have Oklahoma State at Colorado on Black Friday, which will be fun and interesting.
R.I.P. Bedlam.
The Thanksgiving night game, by the way, NFL.
Yeah, what is it? Is it the Egg Bowl?
It is. No, not even the Egg Bowl. It's Memphis at Tulane.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
Peter,
I missed the Egg Bowl.
That's a great reaction.
I want the Egg Bowl.
The Egg Bowl is on Black Friday, also at 2:30.
Oh, interesting. The now this is reminding me that I don't remember what the Thanksgiving game is at night. It's Dolphins at Packers. Interesting. Is the Thanksgiving night game. So
Packers got all the wonky games.
They did. They got a lot of because yes, the Packers fans in my life were very triggered by this game. Oh, we have to play a weird time and day. Get used to it. That's what happens when you're a good team.
Oh yeah, and there's a Black Friday NFL game, isn't there?
There is a Black Friday NFL game. It's Raiders Chiefs.
Oh jeez.
What, Jack? It's okay. It's just a game. You don't have to watch.
I know. I just for some reason that is the one expansion of the NFL schedule that I'm like, that's the one that's too much for me.
Interesting. All right, so there we go. That's some good edging.
That was good. I like that.
Yeah,
I like that. Man, this did not do any help for me being impatient for the next couple of weeks to pass. So
yeah, indeed. It'll be week 0 in what is it? 11 days. In 12 days. 12 days, Jack. 12 days from week 0.
Boy.
12 days. We're not even 2 full weeks anymore for the Aer Lingus Classic.
Aer Lingus.
Upset special Georgia Tech. You put it down now. See what you can get for points. Do it now.